All right, let's do this. Let's kick it.
Ready?
Yes! Stand up! Let's go! Stand up!
Meet the person next to you. Meet the person behind you, in front of you. You got 2 or 3 minutes.
Introduce yourselves.
Talk about what you're working on, your passions, your projects.
Your first
what wakes you up in the morning. Who your first mentor was.
Is that today?
Brilliant.
Yeah. All right, don't go to the next slide yet.
Give each other hugs.
Give it fine. Yep, love it. Give it a couple minutes.
I love you so much.
Give it a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're gonna do some yoga. I'm just kidding. It's starting to quiet down. All right.
Meet at least 2 people.
Let's get this party started. Next slide. All right, take a seat. Welcome to the 6th Contributor Summit. Woo! Here's the deal. Everybody's like, 6? Is that bad math? We've met twice this year. Yay. All right, just to give you all some lay of the land really quick, we have 358 of you that are registered for today. If there are empty chairs in here, it's just because people are at co-located events, they're at other things, but we are going to have 358 of you flow through this wonderful 6th floor today. Also, some other cool pieces of data. There's 177 of you in this room right now that were eligible to vote this year for the steering committee elections. All of this data was brought to you by an awesome volunteer, Bob. Where's Bob? Is Bob here? Oh, Bob's working registration like the good volunteer that he is. Well, if you see Bob is awesome. He really helped us with our reg process this year. We know it was kind of flaky at times, like our tests. So, so definitely thank Bob. We really curated today with all of you in the room to make sure that we had the right folks having these conversations. So it's 177 of you that were eligible to vote. I do not want to put a poll of hands on who actually voted. But if you did, awesome. Next year, same time, same place, please vote. This has to do with molding of your governance. Steering committee members, if you're here, please stand. Yay! Yay! All right. Thank you so much, y'all. Dims was our new addition. Hey, Dims. All right. And there are 66 chairs and tech leads here today as well. That is the majority of the chairs and tech leads. So we do have, I would say, at least 85% of the special interest groups represented here today. We did a lot with the feedback from the Copenhagen and the Austin excursions that we've had for Contributor Summit. We put a lot of work into the content curation of today. We hope that there's something for everyone. We have a lot of different personas in the contributor community at this point, so we need to make sure that we tailor that for everyone, and you're going to hear about that in 1 second.
All right, so here's the lay of the land. This is the main room. We'll be here this morning. The closest bathrooms are back this way. See that door that says exit? As soon as we figure out how to prop it open, that next adjoining room is the contributor lounge. That's a room with tables, power. You can hang out there. If you have not enough people to have a session, but you want a place to talk, that's the place to do it. In there, you will see a big, awesome sign that says Unconference, and all of your submitted ideas for the Unconference. What I want you to do is grab a pen. We'll get to the Unconference stuff in a bit. All these sessions are being recorded and posted on our YouTube channel, so please be cognizant of that when you're in a session that you're being recorded. If this is a problem for you, please come see us and we'll take care of it.
We have 17,000 contributors and growing at this point, and these sessions were very important that we record them because not everybody can be here today, obviously. So again, just be cognizant of that.
Okay, so That's where they are.
Yep. No, and we also just wanted to say, feel free to obviously use the lobby. There's a bunch of other empty rooms that are going to be on this floor throughout the day, just based off of sessions coming in and out. This is your area. If you want to do like an impromptu SIG meeting, whatever, use this space. This is your space. The agenda, you're going to find the agenda. We did a separate sketch this year just to get it out of a markdown table in GitHub. And there is a floor plan on there. The space itself right now seems pretty large, but there's actually not that many rooms. It's just very big rooms for the audience size that we have this year. But if you are looking at the schedule and you're like, I have no idea where this room is, there is a floor map on Sketch. This Sketch link right here is also in the Contributor Summit Slack channel. Please feel free to use that today. That is your channel. That's your voice. If you have questions, ping there. The contributor content does not stop here this week. There is a maintainers track. How many people are presenting for the maintainers track? SIG leads, yes. Lots of work that's gone into this to make sure that the community knows what the work that you're doing is. They have intros, deep dives. If you want to get into some design sessions, some of them are happening in the deep dives. Please definitely try to make those, especially the ones where you think you want to combine efforts or work with them on things and you don't get to their meetings, whatever, this is the place for you. On the GitHub page where we ripped out that ugly markdown table, we have a list of stuff that we think would interest you throughout this week, meaning it is tailored contributor content like CRD Lightning Talk tonight and a bunch of other awesome stuff. Check that out.
All right, who's here for the New Contributor Summit? Who's brand new here? Welcome.
Woo!
Gwen, if you could stand up.
Where's Gwen?
Gwen, are you here? And Josh and Tim, your assistants?
Yes.
They will be
Gwen.
running the New Contributor Workshop. That's what she looks like if you don't know. It's basically the opposite room on the other side of the caffeine. She's G-Sanger on Slack, and that's room 603, 604. Real quick, Josh, where's Josh?
Is Josh in here? Burkus.
And Tim.
Okay. Is Tim over there too?
No, there's Tim. They ran this same event in Shanghai, and it was a huge success. So just remember, we're doing these all over the world now. So
we're onboarding hundreds of people a year now to contribute into, and everyone's on the same page with our CI. If you feel like new contributors aren't hitting the mark in some fashion, you let Contributor Experience know. Okay, this is what we do. We actually brought this event to you today. It's a sub-project of ours. And Gwen, Tim, Josh, and so many other people in our special interest group have worked so hard this year on coming up with this new contributor event idea that's out of the box, where we can spring to life a new contributor playground repo and people can actually touch our CI. We know that our testing and testing infra is definitely extensive for an open source project, and that can definitely have a barrier to new contributors. But that's what this is here for. It's here for them to get educated on those barriers. Cool. So thank you so much. Can we get one more round of applause for that? I think that's awesome. All right, your morning sessions. The way we have set up the morning is mostly in this main track. Why? Because we need to get everybody on the same page. Again, we've talked about how the community is so large at this point, and you cannot keep up with everything. It's a topic that, in Contributor Experience, we deal with frequently with our communication platforms, but the morning session is a ton of active SIGs and very active groups that are working on very large things that everyone should be on the same page about. And the reason why you need to be on the same page is because in the afternoon, which George is going to touch on in a second, you're going to go into breakout sessions. In Austin and Copenhagen, we heard a lot of feedback about how people were in the feedback or in these Birds of a Feather Unconference sessions, and no one knew what was going on. No one, everybody was on the different page. Everybody had different content. This morning is going to get hopefully everybody on the same page about issues that you're going to hear a lot of this afternoon. Also, room facilitators. These are awesome people. Please stand up. Obviously, Jason with his orange beard, you'll be able to identify him. All of the room facilitators have puffy Kubernetes stickers on the front. These folks are going to be awesome for us, both in the morning sessions, in new contributor workshop, as well as the afternoon. These folks are tasked with giving the room time warnings, making sure that people who have not had a say have a say, which is super critical. I know that folks can certainly dominate conversations. I know I can. So these folks are going to make sure that things are flowing in those rooms. If you need anything at all, please see a room facilitator. Now, the other thing that we just wanted to highlight too is these ribbons. Room facilitators are going to be looking for them. And the reason why is we had over 130 people on the wait list. Last night we had at least 30 people try to get into Garage that did not sign up for this event. We anticipate the same today. We want to make sure that everybody in the rooms is the right folks to be in the room. And everybody has a shot at a say at their ideas. And in order for us to do that, we absolutely have to make sure that that everybody in the room has a ribbon. Cool? There's only 2 ribbons floating around. There's a Kubernetes contributor and a Kubernetes new contributor. That is it. There is also a contributor ribbon floating around downstairs. That is not a ticket to this event. Cool? All right, so if someone asks to see, no, that's fine. If someone asks to see your badge, please be nice. It's just because that we told them to do that. Cool?
Also remember with the wait list, we had some people that couldn't be here. So if you find yourself sitting in the contributor lounge the whole time, checking on your personal email, please try to make every minute that you can count. We only meet twice a year. So it was really difficult for us to try to get the right people in the room. So please help us out. If you're finding in the session and it's just not happening, try to make it happen or figure something out or ask us for help. So please be cognizant of that. Okay, we have 2 10-minute breaks, one's at 10:50 and one's at 2:50. You all know where the caffeine is, so that's pretty much all you need to know. Okay, it looks like everyone's set on that. Lunch will be at 12:05 when we reconvene here. We will basically set you out to lunch after we've decided what we're going to do for the unconference sessions.
Yeah, important part here is we're feeding you, we're caffeinating you, and if you had a food allergy and or special suggestion, we also accommodated you. Cool. Let's do it.
All right, so here's how the unconference session is going to work. Those of you that went to the social event last night, we have cards, and through that door in the back, there's a contributor lounge. Just follow the sign, and Mario and I will be back there. And people have been submitting sessions on these 3x5 cards. What we want to do is throughout the morning, throughout breaks, I would like to try to get most of you at least to cycle through the contributor lounge, look at the cards that are laid out on the table, take up the marker that's there and put a dot on a session that you plan to attend or would want to attend. Okay? Don't vote for every single one, DIMS. And what we're going to do is we only have 4 unconference slots. So if you want to submit or you want to revise, feel free to go ahead and submit it. We will take the top 4 sessions, 4 or 5, come here right before lunch. I will read out what they are, get the read from you all, see if we all like this and stuff, and then we'll argue about flaky tests for the afternoon. No, just kidding. We will schedule all the unconference sessions physically on the signs themselves, and I'll go back in and update the schedule, and then we will have BOS. We want to keep some level of spontaneity in it. So if you're interested in that, feel free to submit stuff. In the Slack channel this morning, I will be posting, warning, 30 minutes until unconference sessions close and stuff like that, so just pay attention to that. And then we have the SIG meet and greet, that's Gwen's thing, right?
Yeah,
yes, there's a SIG meet and greet. SIGs, I know you have to ascend sessions, but we have SIG meet and greets. Please think about how you want to spread yourselves out to be efficient. We don't need all the SIG leads for one SIG in one room and none in the other.
Yeah.
You all are smart. You know what you're doing. Any questions on the unconference and the afternoon sessions? Okay. Then after that, we're going to reconvene in here, and the steering committee is going to give us a quick update on what they've done this year, what they plan on doing next year. Then we'll have about 20 minutes for you to just ask the steering committee any questions that you want, and that should be a lot of fun. So we'll do a little Q&A, and that should be great. And this is you.
Yes, and as all of our events, we do abide by the Cloud Native Compute Foundation's Code of Conduct. Something new this year that the steering committee will most likely talk about as well is we have formed a Code of Conduct committee. We are in the process of setting our charter. These folks on the board right now are the Code of Conduct committee. Code of Conduct committee folks, stand up. I see two folks right here. And then I think Carolyn could not join us today, and I know Eric couldn't too, and I am as well. What this means is we're not going to tolerate any crap today, all right? And if you see anything, hear anything, witness anything, we do have a confidential email address. It's conduct@kubernetes.io. This is not a black hole. This goes to all of us. I'm sorry.
That's for the whole week, not just this event.
Yes, and I'm sorry, that is for the whole week, not just this event. Yes. Yes, so please definitely use that. Be respectful of each other. If you see folks who are dominating conversations, ask them, again, like the room facilitators are going to do this, but ask if other people would like to say something, if other people have opinions, suggestions, things along those lines. Don't try to one-up someone. You can +1 them. That's always better. If you agree with someone, say +1. You don't necessarily have to regurgitate the same thing that they said just because you said it. Cool. I know I do that a lot.
Yes.
Not talking about anybody in particular here.
Castro, can you let someone get a word in? Okay. All right, and then after that, we'll be meeting here. Those of you that are new contributors, that will be your little graduation. You'll get your little patch. It'll be fun. That'll be cool. And then after that, you're going to hug a volunteer, y'all. A quick shout out. Some of us are fortunate enough to get paid to work in open source, but people like Bob and Jeff that are working registration are doing this as true volunteers. So they're not paid to be here. So make sure you give them a hug, and the CNCF staff who've helped us immensely throughout this process. So make sure, let them know what a great job they're doing. And then we will do a group photo. Where you had breakfast this morning, we're going to try to cram you all in there.
We're gonna give it a whirl.
And do a photo.
We're going to try.
Okay. And with that, we're going to have our first speaker. Brian, while you're getting ready, do we have any questions? Any burning issues, DirectX Man 12?
Any questions?
Are we doing note-taking at the sessions, or are we just using the recordings?
Since we're recording, we technically didn't think we needed to get note-takers. However, if you're in a session and you feel like there are some action items coming out of this session, please feel free to write those down, especially if if you know that there's a SIG leading that session, and you can always give them the SIG notes later. It would be super, super appreciated just to capture just the action items that are coming out of this event. And we just want to reiterate one more time that the afternoon sessions are not meant to be therapy. We realize that there is a lot of work going on from multiple people, so it's important that we keep this action-oriented. Think about how you're going to make that improvement, how you're going to take that step forward, not therapy. It is kind of alleviating, isn't it?
And just a quick reminder, just because we're talking about actions, make it all count and all that stuff, remember there are people that can't be here. So avoid making decisions where it's like, hey, sorry, you weren't here, so we made a decision without you. Make the action item be, hey, when we get back and we have our normal meeting, or whatever process you do through your list or whatever. We really don't want this to be like, hey, I was at the Contributor Summit. I didn't get to go to the Contributor Summit. I show up at the project thinking everything's normal, and a whole bunch of people made decisions without me, and that really kind of sucks. So let's try to keep it inclusive for the remotes in that regard. And with that.
All right, and we're early, and we're going to keep going because we have such a jam-packed schedule. I know Brian has a jam-packed schedule. Does anybody have any last-minute questions? Concerns, comments, anything like that? All right.
All right, thank you for coming. Let's get started. Let's get to work.
Yay!